Investigating the wonder of consciousness, the nature of mind, the miracle of the body. We'll talk with elders, lineage holders, seekers, scholars, and practitioners from diverse wisdom traditions to explore the precious convergence of the being, the psyche, and life itself, and how we can use the alchemy inherent to that meeting point for transformation. I'm Laura Karate, and this is the delicate business of being human. Courting the mystery, weaving the story, and bringing it all back home to the body. Today we'll be joined by psychologist Paramita Oliveira, who specializes in studying human behavior and who is very informed by a study that she did over many years in India, where she and I met. This episode is the beginning of a series of conversations in which I and Paramita will be discussing a particular facet of spiritual study, and that's called self-knowledge or self-study. This refers back to a very well-known aspect of yoga, which is called svadhyaya, self-study. And this self-study is more than just study of the psychological workings of the mind. This self-study is done because of a belief that the human being is a microcosm of the macrocosm of the universe. That everything that exists in the universe also exists in me. And therefore, studying myself is a study of the universe. So it's not just navel gazing. Yeah. So we are going to embark today on a 10-part series in which we're dissecting a very particular aspect of the human being, the defenses that arise and the cause and the effect of them. This methodology treats the human being as much more than just a set of patterns and conditionings and habits, but sees us really as a soul that has come into incarnation with the aspiration to learn something. And that the circumstances surrounding our birth create the conditions for that learning to take place. Today, I have the really heartwarming honor of having a beloved teacher, friend, mentor, and sister on the path with me. Paramita is someone that I have known for quite some time, and she crossed paths with me in a moment of huge transition, in a kind of crossroads on my evolution, where I had been kind of walking in one specific way for many years, and something was desperately missing. And when I met her, I understood, maybe not in the exact moment, maybe only a little bit later, but I understood that she was holding something that was a key of sorts, that the methodology and the study that she brought to my awareness was an absolute piece of gold and an absolute key for me to continue on, to go further. And yeah, we met under the guidance of a teacher, and everything that she brought is actually such a huge tool that I use in my life with all of my students, with all of my clients. And so it's something that really is precious to me. And actually, when this project was being born, she was the first person that came into my head, and I thought, I want Paramita to come on, and I want her to give this this overview that we're starting today, I would love for her to do it. And I thought she never would for two reasons. One was that she's the busiest woman on earth. And two, and two because Paramita usually teaches in Portuguese. And for her to come and speak English and wrestle with this language barrier when it's not so easy to give teachings that are really delicate and intricate and important and crucial in a language that you don't feel absolutely 100% comfortable in. But she's willing. And I'm grateful for that. And so during the interview, there might be a moment where we pause for some translation because luckily enough, I speak Portuguese and I'm a translator. And so I can provide this service. And so we're just going to play like this. And so Paramita has overcome a kind of resistance inside of herself to come on a show and speak English. And I am so grateful to have her here with us. This is such gold for me to be able to do this together. So welcome, Paramita. I'm so grateful to have you here. And so now I'm going to invite Paramita to speak a little bit about herself and her positioning and her orientation to this methodology, and a little bit about her life and her journey. So welcome, Paramita.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much to receive me. It's true that my English maybe it's not good enough, but I work already with so many people from many countries. You know that because you translate me many times,
Yes.
right? And it is because of my laziness that I don't have a perfect English to talk with you guys. So I said, okay, but I cannot, don't do this because of that. So let's go for it. And you guys, please forgive me if I cannot express in a totally right way or like if I speak wrong words, but I'll give my best, come from my
We're
heart.
so grateful for it. And it's such also a good example because we're seeing, right, how much we don't do in our lives because we
Yes,
can't do it perfect. And it's like, oh, no,
yes,
no, no, no. I need to study 12 more years of English before I can. No, come on. We find a way. And so it's like, it's not just an honor, but it's also a teaching that you're giving to us about how to overcome this perfectionism and this little voice in the head, right? That tells us, no, it needs to
yes.
be like this.
And I know it's very clear for me that this is one of my biggest emotional problems, which is perfectionism. That's why I said, okay, you know what? Let's go for it. So maybe that's from where I can explain to you and to tell you about my history and when I start to walk in my path of self knowledge.
Yes.
And so just to start, I need to begin when I was in the womb of my mother.
Yes. Yes.
Because it was a big deception for her. She was like not happy at all that she was pregnant. She had already 5 children, not expecting at all. And then I came, and she was very depressed, not wanting at all. So when I came, this feeling of not being welcome and that I cannot disturb was already waiting for me here, was
Yes.
my the lesson started very early
Very
for me.
early. Yes.
Yes. So then I came, and when I was around 10, 9 years old, she had a very big problem in her brain. She had a stroke and she was really sick, and was a very difficult moment for me. I felt very much not fit in school because my house was totally a mess when she was sick with lots of problems. So I was always feeling that I was not good enough there. My friends, they have the shoes, the clothes, and this and that, and right food, the house, and my house was a big mess.
Yes.
So what happened to me, it's something that happened to all of us when we are a child. We cannot leave the house, we cannot leave that family. We need to be there, boiling inside of that energy. And then when our powers starts to come, then we start to defend ourselves. So I was there into this situation, not feeling welcome, at the same time loving my mother very much because she was also loving me. And then she was into this situation and a big mess in my house. All my brothers and sisters, they were really like freaking out. And also my father, he starts to drink, and drugs inside of my house. I was very little looking of all that.
Yes.
Today I can see that was life preparing me to work with people and to understand more about life. But at that moment it was so difficult.
Well,
And then
when
when
we
I
look back, it's easy to see, yes, this was
sure,
helpful, so nice. But when you look at that little girl there struggling, it's something else, right?
yes, it was really terrible. And then afterwards, I could understand what I'm saying here. It's things that now I can understand, but at that time I was not understand at all. And then when I start to grow up, I start to create a very big perfectionism, like my defenses. I could
Yes.
see that was like saying, never be humiliated anymore. I'll be the perfect one, you know? I don't show all this feeling of nothing. I'm gonna be perfect.
Yes. I notice.
And then you know, and then I start to create, studying a lot and like working in my body. And I want to be beautiful and I want to be intelligent. And I want to prove to my friends that I'm better than them because I was always the worst one. At my point of view, of course, like the worst family and all
Yes.
this. Until that came into a moment that I seems that I was there. Everything was very perfect. Good job, beautiful husband, making money. I was very young. What I'm saying, I was like 24 years
Wow,
old.
so very young and already very
Yes.
successful and very with
Eh,
everything in place, right? That feeling
yes.
everything is in
Money was
place.
not so successful, but for my age in that moment, I was already independent because
Yes.
I also learned, Laura, how to be self sufficient and
Yes.
don't give problems to the others. Very strong. But I was so unhappy.
Oof.
My God. I knew that I was very unhappy. And all my friends like coming to me to receive all the advices, but I was not telling to her, okay, but I'm totally fucked inside, but I know what it's better for you.
Yes.
And I had a sister and she was looking at me. She had experiences with self knowledge. She had been in India. And then she said, don't you want to come to India with me? And I said, no, I want to go to United States. I want to go to Disneyland. I want to shop. I don't want to go. And she said, let's go there. It's a good place. I was already studying psychology.
Mm.
It's good for your profession. No, I was studying psychology to help the others because I didn't need any help because I had a terrible childhood and I was perfect.
Yes.
So I was ready to teach to everyone,
Of
you
course.
know, maybe how to do 7 steps and to reach there. And then she said, let's go there. But she knew she was
She
just
was
trying to do
tricking you,
this
huh?
with, Ye-
She was
yes,
luring
let's
you
go
in.
there. Yeah. And then I went with her in India. And then I was with some prejudice, like say, this is not for me, but okay. And then they invited me to go to one group. And I said, okay, maybe I can go to this group to learn to work with people. I just want to say something about this place, which is a place where the meeting between East and West was happening there,
Yeah.
like meditation, spirituality, and at the same time, psychology, body works, and was like something really beautiful that was happening there. And lots of things was happening. There are many people working on themselves, strong energy. And I was like, no way out. I didn't know.
Because you thought you were already finished, right? You thought you
Yes,
had
I
already,
was just learning,
you were just,
24 years old, learning to teach people, learning because I don't know how to say in English. Like, eu estou
I'm
resolvida.
already complete, right? Everything's
Yes,
resolved. I don't need
yes,
any more work on myself. We've all been in that place. I just need to apprentice a little bit and learn how to facilitate a little bit better. That's all. Nothing
perfect,
for me.
perfect.
Yeah, nothing for me.
Yes. Yes. And then I enter into this group. I did many groups and learning, but then I entered in a very strong group.
Yeah.
And the facilitator, the therapist was looking like this to my ego, like, huh? Really? You are so perfect. And then she started really squeezing me and squeezing me. And I was always ready to answer and to defend myself until one moment was so strong. And then something like was like, you know, I start to cry because of my mother. I start to cry, all the shames, and that my father was not there for me when I was feeling so bad. He was drinking and was so strong, and that's such a big relief for me. Like, I cannot believe that I don't need to hold all this. And when I opened the therapist and all the people of the group, they could hold me and give me space. It was something totally new for me. It was
Yes.
like, huh?
That it was
And then,
possible for you to be in that role, right? To be held, to be
yes,
received, to be listened to break that thing of the perfectionist, and it's still okay. Nobody
yeah,
died. Yeah.
no. And nobody will like leave me because
Yes.
I'm not perfect, you know?
Yes.
I would not be alone. I was so much afraid to be alone, that I was like into this role of the perfect and doing everything to everyone. And I feel that there was a very important moment for me. At that exactly moment, I totally fall in love for self-knowledge. Wow, this is what I want. So important.
Yes.
I said, I want to work with this. And of course, I was going deep and deep into this group, was so strong for me, Laura, that I came back to Brazil. I stopped to study psychology for 1 year. I finished my merit. All that was perfect.
Yes.
I quit my job and I said, now I go to India and I will live there at least for 1 year to really go deep into this.
Yes. I feel like we all had this moment, and it was like, it just,
Sure.
you go to India, you do the thing, it breaks you, you collapse so that something new can arise, something real, something true, something that reflects who you really are, not just this illusion,
Sure.
right?
Sure. And of course, that 1 year of me in India was very painful, but very necessary.
Yes.
Very necessary. And as you said when you start this podcast, and then I met this teacher after I came back to Brazil and I finished my psychology. And then I met this teacher, and then I could go deeper and deeper in my study. And then there, I could see that I really want to work with this, no doubts,
Yes.
And my work, you don't come only from the books, but all the experiences that I was living and like seeing people also living.
Yes.
And then I could see that I was really enjoying to create methodologies and ways to communicate with people and to show them how to go into these ways. This is my passion.
Yeah.
I came for this,
Yes.
to this life. And that's why I met you,
Yes.
because you were the same. So same vibration.
Same vibration, but you were the one that hit me over the head. You and your husband were like a dual team. I remember I came to you thinking I had it all figured out. Really thinking. Do you remember this little arrogant person that came in? And the
Yes, I
first thing
remember.
that happened, I was coming in to do this interview with you so that I could go into a workshop. And I
Yes,
thought,
yes, yes, yes.
I was a teacher for many years. I thought I had a horrible childhood that I'd never even touched on, that I'd never, had any, any contact with. I never cried about it once, but I was resolved and I was complete. And I came, and the first thing that happened was you said no to me. You didn't let me. Do you remember this? You didn't let me go into
That we were not ready to go to the workshop.
me? Not ready?
And your friends, they were coming,
My
right?
friends and my students were going into the workshop and I wasn't ready. And it was like a dagger into my heart, but not my heart, my ego, right? The first thing that happened was this like cut of, you are not this big spiritual resolved person, right? And this was the beginning. This was what was necessary, right? To even start the work. So in the moment, it was horrendous, but something in me had enough resolve to stay and actually do the work from a place of, God, I'm not perfect and I'm not, super spiritual and whatever. And this was a lot of what this work gave to people, a reality check,
And it's interesting because you were saying this, I don't know, it was 20 years ago, something like this.
A long time ago. I don't even remember.
Longer time ago. We are old.
We're old now.
Yeah. But I remember like this exact moment was this that you were saying, that you were not ready and your arrogance and all this, but you were so fragile in that moment. I don't know if you remember that I said, if you come, it's something very challenging for your ego, and the ego, we need to work with the ego, but it's also, a protection.
Yes.
So we cannot do this if you are not ready to,
Yes.
because we work, but we also take care, right? It's not like do just for do, I was
Yes.
like, let's wait for you to be a little bit more, to be stronger, and then you can go inside. But I remember that was very difficult for you.
But it was perfect,
Yeah.
It was perfect because my actual structure was very weak, but my ego structure was very strong. So if we were working with my actual structure, it was in such a delicate moment. Something was so fragile.
Yeah.
But
that's
for
why
me to
I said no.
For me to be called fragile was like death to me.
I can imagine. I because I also played this strong woman. I can imagine.
But it was so perfect, and this was where I started to really feel trust for you. Because I saw that you saw. You saw past what I was trying to project. You saw what was real. You moved in a way that was cutting and caring in the same.
Yeah.
And this is such a rare quality to find in the world right now. We're so unwilling to kind of be in reality. And this is what I find so powerful in your work. It's like an encounter with the truth. It's an encounter with reality.
And of course, the lies that are protecting us, behind that there are lots of pain and traumas. So it's like we will go there, but we also take care of the pain behind. It's like,
Yes.
sometimes it's like playing chess with the ego, like how to go inside and, right?
Yes. And to attack what needs to be attacked and protect what needs to be protected. It's a very delicate work, no?
Yes. Saying a little bit more about this methodology and the work, and also the subjects that we want to talk in during our talks here, right? I could see, because when I came back from India, that second time that I stayed 1 year there, I could go very deep in the feelings, the sensations, which it's very important.
Yeah.
But I came back to my life and I could see that I was still repeating, still trying to be the perfect, of course, until today, because we start to see that there is some things in our life that we want to go beyond, but they are stronger than us. We start to see that there is powers inside of us that we cannot control, that we cannot dominate.
Absolutely. And what was it for you that helped you to start to see what was happening, to start to understand this whole play? How was that for you? What helped you to be able to see these different parts?
The main thing was that I was so tired. I was so tired to do the same thing, to play the same thing, be the perfect, and to always tired. I'm still tired today. I'm tired, for example. But it's a levels, right? And then I start to work with people after that, more aware that I was together with them, not better than them. We
Yes.
are at the same,
Yes.
situation here. We want to go beyond some behaviors that we cannot. For example, I don't want to be aggressive in that moment, but I'll be there.
Yes.
I'll be aggressive. I
Yes.
don't want to feel envy from my best friend, but I'm gonna feel this enviness.
Yes.
It's some things that I could see that I didn't know how to do that.
Yes.
So then I could see that I was going deep into these feelings, which was very important.
Mm.
But I was also need some knowledge to understand what I was dealing with,
So it was like two
which
things at the same time, going into the
yes,
feeling and then organizing it with understanding.
yes, with the awareness, because anything that needs to be transformed inside of us, this is my experience, of course, not the final
Of
reality because
course.
I don't have this, but my experience, it needs to go through the awareness to transform. Because in our unconsciousness, things will just repeat, and not transform. But when we start to bring this to our awareness, and at the same time dealing with the feelings, then transformation can start to happen.
So you feel like dealing with the feelings is what enables transformation to happen. Is that true?
Dealing with feelings, it's like essential, because we always, as you could see, my perfectionism was there because I was escaping from the feelings
Yes.
to feel less than my friends, the pain that my mother died, the pain that she didn't want me, that my father was drinking. So I was trying to escape from the feelings. And that's why I had to create this facade.
Yes.
So the work that I do, and that I also know that you do, and then we can share here, it's how to deal with these feelings and at the same time understand these layers that we create, and that many times we forget about the feelings and we live on at these layers,
Yes.
which are very powerful layers, like we will study here, right?
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
And it's so interesting to see the difference in working in this way. I mean, for me, I was struggling, we can say, with a lot of things, a lot of depression and things that I just couldn't get on top of. And I remember going through a workshop, a very, very strong experience with you, like very strong. And at the end, it was really like you looked around the room and it looked like we had just come out of a battle. People were just like, and I remember you asking me, like, how are you? How are things? And I just went, and I can almost cry thinking about it. I have a map. Now I have a map. And I feel like having this map, understanding these forces, how they are acting inside of me, what they want, where they're going to take me if I let them, what my soul wants, where it's going to take me if I let it. I can see the battlefield, so to speak. I can see what's in front of me. And just that, it's like, it was so difficult. It was so challenging. But I felt so much more free. It was like something had been liberated. And there was a possibility that I had never seen before. It was like, it's possible.
Yeah.
And so that I was broken, beaten up, exhausted, really like coming in from a battle, but I felt victorious in a way I never had before. I felt that things were possible in a way they never felt before. And the reason that I have you here was because I feel like you have an understanding of these forces that very few people on earth have, even when somebody has studied them for a long time. And it's for me, it was such a precious gift. It was such a, it was like it gave me my life back. And this is what I'm hoping we can give people a taste of here.
Yeah.
because these forces are no joke.
Yeah,
They are
true.
no joke, right?
True. Yeah.
And so can
And of course, the light inside of us also, it's very
it's
powerful.
no
And
joke,
then,
right?
no joke.
And
Because these powers that we're saying that like it's like a prison for us, it's our light that distorted with the pain that we live in our childhood. We understand this during our podcasts, right?
yes,
Was a
yes.
distorted force. We just like bring this back through awareness and understanding and making contact with this. That's why there is so much power here, because the source, it's the light that's distorted, right? It's not
Yes.
something separated, it's together, but opposite poles. How I
As
can say
opposite
this?
poles, exactly.
Yes, it's the same energy. That's
Yes.
why there is so much power, huh?
Can you tell us a little bit about what this methodology is and how you understand it? Just to give us a little introduction.
Little introduction, because I need many hours to talk.
I know.
Before I answer this to you, I want to say something, that one book that was so important for me in this path, and also for you, which is Fear No Evil, Eva Pierracos and Donovan Tezenga. Such a beautiful book that taught me a lot. There I start to understand that this teacher that we had, he was also working with this book, in a very beautiful way. So
Yes.
we learn a lot from that,
A
right?
lot, eh?
Was and just the name Fear No Evil, which is like to really go to these powers. So just to say in a few words, and then if you want in another moment, I can explain very
Yes.
clear for you.
Yes.
But what it's happening, I can say, is that in few words, it's that us as a child, we are totally open to our parents, open to everything. And we are just like, how I can say, a folha em branco.
A blank page.
A blank page, we don't know about anything. And we are totally sure that our parents and all the adults around us, they know. The child has no doubt. They really know. It's an illusion,
Yeah.
huh? Because we don't know.
Now,
But
as
the child,
adults,
they
we
think
know that we don't
we can
know.
see that we don't know. So we are totally open with all these lights that we have as a child.
Yes.
And then when we start to come in contact with all the neuroses, all the problems that we have in an adult life, it's a lot for a child. I used to say, we look back at our child and then we say, it was not so much. But it's for us and as an adult, it seems to be simple, but us as a child, it's a lot. I used to say it's like a cent in my hand. When I'm an adult, I say it's just a cent, but if I put in my eyes, it's a lot. It's like for a child, it's like too much. And as I said, the child cannot leave, so we need to stay inside the house. We need to stay inside the family. We cannot say, guys, too much for me, because we know that we can leave today if it's not good enough. Even if we cannot, because we have our dependencies. But we know that we have this option. As a child, we don't have any option. We need to be there.
Yes.
So we had to create something to survive. So we need to live from inside and create this facade and distorted ourselves to adapt and to survive. And then the point is, comes to the moment that we cannot breathe with these defenses. It's too much. I was defending because I was a child. I didn't have power to defend myself. Now I'm an adult. I can defend myself. I can leave the house if I don't like. But when I say to these parts of us, like, now it's enough. Now I don't need to be so arrogant. Now I don't need to be so submissive. Now I don't need to behave in this way anymore. Thank you that you could protect me, my ego, but now I want to leave. And then our ego says, what? You didn't read our contract.
And it really is like
Now
that, huh? It is a
I am the
contract.
boss. I don't leave. Now your life is going to be the way I want. You keep having your problems with money in your relationships and the way that you behave and your fears. Now we are totally inside the house. You cannot just put us out. But we can through
Yes.
our awareness, to our work, inner work, and of course the powers in the spirituality that it's just calling us to go beyond this. That's the battle, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm very practical. I like these things in a practical way, not just in a theory.
Hmm.
And then when we start to study our life, then we can see these powers working, huh?
Yes.
Where we cannot move, where we think that we cannot beyond, it's where these powers are there working.
Yes.
I'm just saying few words, otherwise it's too long here our talk, but we'll keep
No,
talking,
we'll
right?
absolutely keep talking about it. And I think it's so I just think it's so important for people to understand that power is our power, right?
Yes, distorted,
And this is
you know?
crucial because it's like, oh my God, there's a power. And then we get to get in the story of, oh, I don't have any power. And there's all this power. And this is keeping me down. And I never, blah, blah, blah. But it's like,
Yeah,
no, it's actually my power. It's
yeah,
my power that has been trained to act in a certain way, to fit in a certain way.
yeah.
How has it been for you over the years personally to work
hmm
with this, work in these ways
With
with
myself.
yourself? Because that's where it always
hmm
starts, right? This
Sure.
is always amazing to me. These people like us that
hmm
kind of do a work for 5 minutes and they're like, I'm going to teach you about this without ever
Yeah.
having realized, in
Yeah,
themselves what it
sure.
does.
Yeah. No, of course, Laura, I'm still working on myself
You and me.
every day. Because of course I still want to be the best. I
Mm.
want to see the perfect,
Mm.
and my pride, it's very strong. I really need to work with that. I feel that it's endless
Yes.
levels and levels and levels, but slowly it has less power over us,
Yes.
you know? Less power, but it's always there. I have this feeling you're asking to me in my work, in my process. It's still here, of course, and sometimes it's very strong,
Mm.
but sometimes I can let it go. I don't listen so strongly that I need to go into this direction or that.
Yes.
It's like almost that we fall, but we can stand up faster,
Yes. Yes.
you know but it's still the same, because I have the sensation that, because as you know, I have this experience to give sessions and groups to so many people. This is my biggest university. It's the others and
Yes.
myself,
Yes.
much more than the teachers and the book, of course, that are very important.
Yes.
And what I could see during all these years, I'm working with people. There is already almost 30 years. It's almost, there is one subject that life is talking with us. We came to this life to study one point. And of course, there are many other things, but it's one point. The rest, it's all connected with this point.
Yes.
I would say that God is talking with us, with our soul, with our ego, about one subject,
Yes.
that it's connected with many other things, that when we start to really look at that, we can see, it's relationship, it's money, it's my pride, it's this subject. And then of course life, it's a school. So this is the university that I'm studying. And then
Yes.
of course I'm still, if I'm alive, I'm learning, because we know nothing, and
Yes.
we are inside the school,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's endless.
Absolutely. And I really resonate with that idea that it's one thing. We're all in like one, it's like we've come with our little toolbox and we're here to fix one thing, to work on one
Yeah,
thing. And it's
yeah.
usually the most painful part.
It's not flowing.
Yes. Yes.
It's not flowing,
And that can be
you
our
know?
our entry point, right? It's like, look at what in your life, oh, I resolved this, I resolved this, this is beautiful, this is harmonious, and then there's this, right?
Eh,
And then there's
And I
this.
would say that it's not just to fix this, but it's the interest to look at this.
Yes.
Say there are some people that come to my session and said, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have money, and I want to have a boyfriend and I want to have money. Great, maybe you reach there. But the point is what it's connect with this thing that it's not flowing in our life.
Yes.
And then we start to look at something so old, it's ancestral, and then we start to see how life is deep, and it's so beautiful to see how deep it is.
Yes. And this is maybe the last piece that I want to speak about, because there's so much psychology out there. There's so much psychological knowledge. But what's beautiful for me about this methodology is it unites spirituality and psychology. It unites, it's not just to like polish the personality and to get what I want. This is something more. This is something deeper. This is something where I'm actually connecting with my soul and trying to access and to understand something very, very deep about myself and about the universe. And I wonder if you could speak about that piece a little bit as to like why is it more than just making ourselves good and nice for, and getting what we want, what we think we want.
First, what I would like to say, and of course, there are many different works, and for different people, they are good for some and not good for the others, no?
Yes.
Of course. I just need to say this, otherwise I enter into my pattern that it's the best. It's not that.
No.
It's just that it's for some kind of people. And what I could see and learn is the ego can also, nowadays that we have lots of spiritualities and mantras and beautiful tools to reach the spirituality, what I can see that if we don't pay attention, we create one spiritual ego. We want to jump, to go, to don't look at these parts that we are saying since the beginning, which is this part that we want to forget about and create the personality to forget about that, right? But what I could see is if I cannot deal with my father, if I cannot deal with my mother or my brothers, it doesn't mean that they need to be my best friends and that I need to live with them every day. Maybe it's the vibration, it's different, and that's okay. But inside, if I didn't integrate my father, how I can jump to the universal father? If I not integrate my mother, how I can connect with the divine mother? If there are representations of them in my life for me to look, how is it my soul? How my soul is dealing with these forces, which is the feminine and masculine, the mother and the father. So there is a big connection. If we don't look at the spirituality, then we could just be in the problems and the ego eternally, because it's eternal. Okay, right?
Yes.
And if we can want to jump this and go just to this part of the work, which is the spirituality, something gonna miss. At some point, it will fall. There is no base,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we call for our father, we call for the divine mother, but we work with our parents here also in the earth. And all the distortions in my relationship with them that I can see in my practical life, in my relationship, the way I deal with money, the way I deal with my body,
Yes.
it's all connect,
Yes.
So when we look at life, which is this mirror, and we look at our biography, which is mother and father, they are the door that we enter in this planet. There's a lot of things there for us to look. And then we go to this direction. It's all at the same time. Very important parts of this puzzle.
Yes. This is really beautiful because it's true. There's so many people that are like praying at the feet of the Divine Mother and praising the Father, whatever it is. But in reality, we have an imprint, don't we? We have an imprint that came from the mother and the father, the real mother and the father, our mother and father, that we're holding. And we can't just make that leap to the perfect, all giving, all seeing, all loving. We're going to project pieces, aren't we, of what's unresolved. The I don't know, the punishing father and the neglectful mother, whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's going to interfere with our experience of the divine, actually.
sure. Of course, it's so beautiful to do all the pujas and mud. We love
We
this,
love
huh?
this.
A lot. But there is also this other part that we cannot neglect,
Yes,
right? We give everything to the Divine Mother, but we cannot call to our mother. So we need to look at that, right?
totally.
I was seeing a movie here in Brazil, so funny. The girl, she was in the streets fighting for the environment, for the nature, and it's, of course, something so important. And then when she entered the house, her mother said, it's very beautiful what you're saying, but the plant inside of the flower inside of your room, it's like dead because you didn't put the water. So, what the fuck,
Yeah, totally. And this is it. It's like the microcosm, macrocosm, right? I know so many people, they're fighting for the environment, but their body, they treat their body terribly. And it sounds
Yeah.
like there needs to be a coherence, right?
Yes, and of course we are not we don't have this coherence, me and
Coherency.
you all the time. I'm just saying that we need to look at that. We need to look.
Totally.
And that's why you were saying the methodology, and that's why I'm saying this to you because you asked. Huh?
Yes.
We look at the spirituality, we look to the skies, but we also need to look at the earth.
Yes.
And life, it's so beautiful because then we start to see that it's everything connected. Otherwise, there is one part that it's missing. It's like one leg,
Yes.
only one leg,
Yes.
only on the other leg. But and then when we look at both legs, then we can move a little bit better, huh?
Yes.
And have more balance in life instead of, because we are denying parts. I want to talk about many things, but I know that today is just an introduction, right?
Today's just an introduction. I know, but once I have you here, I'm like, tell me, tell me, tell me everything.
And also, I'm training my English
Yes, but
for the
it's
next step.
amazing. It's amazing. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do episodes on all of these. Well, what would you call them? So maybe you can explain a little bit now, just to close, what we're going to do. So we did an overview. This is the work. This is the origin of the work. This is where it can go and why we do it. Now maybe we can speak a little bit about. We have the insane blessing, the wild blessing that Paramita is going to come with us on this journey and lead us through in several episodes so that we can understand these different forces more intimately and understand how they work. So, Paramita, can you just set up for us a little bit about this journey that
Sure.
we're going to take now?
Yes. So my suggestion for us, because we are just
Yeah.
here, spontaneous way, like creating together, right, Laura? If we look, there is we all this light that we brought with us as a child and that we have inside of us, of course, that was covered for this pain. And because of that pain, we create this facade, like this protection, right? So my suggestion is that we can study step by step these layers, the light that leave some kind of experience and then distorted into this layer. We can see our gluttony, we can see our laziness, we can see our greed, our envy, anger, pride, lust, fear, and lies, which is this arm from our ego that wants to keep us acting in the same way that we cannot live anymore like that, but it's a way to protect ourselves as a child. And this part it's not aware that now we are not that child anymore. We want to live many things, but we are repeating and repeating and repeating and locked inside of these powers. So my suggestion is for us to study that, not to look and say, oh my God, I have lots of problems. I will never go beyond this. No, it's a way to rescue these powers that distorted,
Yes.
this love that distorted into anger and fear, this power that distorted into laziness, the truth that distorted into lies. We study this to bring this light back.
Yes.
And then our light will increase. And then life, which is a mirror, you reflect something different. You reflect more light in our life. Life is just a mirror, no,
Yes.
showing what we have inside.
Yes.
And to don't look at life, we are searching for someone to blame. We want to blame someone,
Yes.
but the way out it's inside.
Yes. Even if we had really difficult childhoods and really difficult experiences, we're adults now, and it's us that are holding ourselves in the pattern. And so it's us that can release ourselves from the pattern, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes. And it's not just a big theory. It's the truth
yes,
for my point of view.
from
Huh?
mine as well.
What do you feel? This is a good way for us to
I
go?
think this is amazing, and this way
Okay.
we can study. And I just want to say one thing that I notice, whenever
Please.
I'm teaching this, is the tendency as we learn, I don't know, about greed or about pride, is to go, ooh, my sister has this.
Yeah.
Ooh, that my husband does that. Ooh, and we
Yeah.
look outside.
He needs to learn.
And we look outside, and the invitation, as Paramita guides us through this, is to take this mirror and do this,
Yeah.
and to really reflect as to what it is we do, how we
Yeah.
have these instances and these elements. Sometimes when I look at someone like Paramita, who's so astute at finding and naming these different elements, it's because she studied it herself and she knows in her. The only things I can recognize in others are what I have seen in myself, what I have studied in myself, right? So the first layer of study, we're going to not think about the husband and the sister and the
Yeah.
mother and everyone else.
Yeah.
We're going to look at ourselves, and we're going to
Yeah.
try to understand how these different elements are robbing our energy and using it
Yeah.
to bring us
Sure.
somewhere we don't want to go.
Yeah. And I think this idea, I don't know if it is to me here to guide, but to share.
To share.
And also you to share. You have lots of experience. I know how great therapist you are. I know.
Yeah, to share about this, because for me, here's the thing, we'll close with this, and I'll just say that for me, this has been a primordially valuable tool. This has been
Also for me.
a game changer, right? And so this is a thing for us. Whenever you find something, you're like, oh, and you want to share it, right? And so this is the opportunity to just
Yeah, that's what happened to me in this day that I was in India. They was squeezing me, and when I could see, I said, I want to share. I want to work for that. I'm at the service of this work. That self-knowledge and connect with meditation and feelings and body and spirituality.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you,
very
Paramita.
much.
Thank you so much for being it's such an honor for me to have you here, and it's such a gift for us. So I'm so grateful to you, and I'm so excited to really start on this journey where we can share.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Step by step.
Step by step. And
thank you also you that were listening to us until here.
Yes. Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Paramita, and we'll meet again soon.
Yes.